This is a Dorking Out special bulletin brought to you by Impatience. Want to do something right now you could just as well do in the very near future? Then you need Impatience. We now join our hosts, Sonia Mansfield and Christopher Allen Smith, blabbermouthing already in progress.
How do you tell people your dad dumped your mom to date a hive of killer bees? I mean, it's just insane. So when people ask, I just say he was hit by a hang glider while crossing the street.
Hey, dummy, we're on the air. This is the Dorking Out Show's continuing coverage of trailer Avalanche 2016, Christmas Gets Crushed. To help us provide news and analysis, today is Peter Brown, the associate editor of Assignment X. He will be here to help us talk through all these new trailers that have tumbled out over the last week and what they mean for you and your movie enjoyment in 2017. Now, we have set this special bulletin up to be a watch-along podcast. So when you hear this sound, you go to dorkingoutshow.com and watch the trailer we're talking about. Then you jump back to this podcast to hear your thoughts. Or in the show notes of this podcast, we are also going to have links. So even in your handy-dandy cellular phone, your podcasting apparatus, you're going to be able to watch the trailers right there on the subway as you speed down the road as someone else is driving for you. Or as you hitchhike across these great United States.
For now.
So the trailers that we are going to go through today are The Circle, starring Tom Hanks and Emma Watson. 50 Shades Darker, because why not? That one's for Sonia. Baywatch, which is basically 23 Jump Street.
And that one's for Smith.
That one's for, yeah. Spider-Man Homecoming. War for the Planet of the Apes. Guardians of the Galaxy 2, because now we're not allowed to put out a podcast unless we have 2 Marvel things anymore. Fate of the Furious. It's the law now. Thank you, Disney. Fate of the Furious, the 8th movie in the Fast and the Furious franchise. And Fist Fight, starring Charlie Day and Ice Cube as teachers who get into a after-school fist fight. So...
Yes, that is a movie.
It is. Hello, Peter. How you doing, Peter?
Oh, hello. Yes.
So, well, let's just dive in. The Circle stars Tom Hanks, Emma Watson, and Karen Gillan. It is about, according to the Internet Movie Database, which never steers us wrong, a woman lands a job at a powerful tech company called The Circle, where she becomes involved with a mysterious man. Let's take a look.
Clearly fiction. A woman getting a job at a tech company.
You know, what's a heartbreaker is women used to program all the computers. All the computers went to you know, for the first rockets. The women used to program all of that. So,
yep.
And then when people started making money at it, all of a sudden the men couldn't be kept away. And now look at where we are.
Everybody drink. Sonia's going to say. Sonia's going to bash men. Everybody drink.
That's right.
Men.
Pace yourselves, audience. I have a feeling we're going to be hearing that a lot today. But okay,
bingo.
Guys, what did you? It's a bingo card with Sonia complains about
Sonia
men.
bingo. Yeah, that's right.
And it's just one big stamp. Boom. All right. Enough about Sonia. Sonia, what did you think of the Circle preview?
I think it looks pretty good. I'm excited to see Tom Hanks playing someone who looks kind of like a bad guy. I assume he's a bad guy. So I think that's pretty cool.
Peter, what were your thoughts?
Has he played a bad guy before?
He did play a bad guy kind of in Cloud Atlas.
Okay, I haven't seen Cloud Atlas yet.
It's a strange movie directed by the Wachowski sisters, I guess now.
Right.
And it is Yeah, that was the one they made right before Jupiter Ascending. So
yes.
It's weird.
That lovely one.
You know, what's funny, though, is my son, we were talking off mic before we came on about taking children too young to see certain movies. My son Dell went to go see that with me, and he loved it. He loved that movie. Anyway, more
It's
on
like a
The
computer
Circle.
game, of course.
That's right. More on The Circle. Peter, what did you think of The Circle?
It's very interesting. I kind of am interested in it, definitely, to see it. It's kind of like a dark mirror Apple, kind of like that whole technology gone awry thing. Everything's so invasive, social media gone haywire. So I'm always interested in that. Dark Mirror does a lot of that, and I'm pretty excited. So I think this will be pretty cool. It's got a great cast. So.
It's got a fantastic cast. My wife is going to be very happy to see Bill Paxton, who I am sure if he showed up in my town, he could take my wife from me without even getting out of his car.
That's a funny celebrity crush.
That's what I've thought this whole time.
He'll just go, game over, man, game over.
Pretty much as he drives off with my life. But what are you going to do? Anyway, point is, I think we wanted to include The Circle because you always need to pay attention to what Tom Hanks is doing. 2, this looks like a kind of interesting. It's, directed by the guy that directed End of the Tour last year. It's based on a novel by Dave Eggers, and it looks interesting. It looks like a grown-up kind of thriller / drama / contemplation of, this technological terror we've constructed.
Yeah.
So yeah, I am excited for it.
They're like a sinister Facebook.
Right, exactly. And I bet somebody's working on that right now, just like an all-seeing eye that sees everything all the time.
That's right. They're like a sinister
Or
Facebook.
as some people just call it Facebook.
Ah, you stole my joke. See, now not only are we giving movies the same score now we're just thinking up the same jokes at the same time. So,
We're spending much time together.
yes, we definitely are. All right, so that moves us on. Speaking of a way that we are not going to be spending time together, 50 Shades Darker.
Wait. Rotten Tomatoes score.
Oh, that's right. Okay, sorry. Actually, yeah. You know what? We need to do a podcast update and a blog post and go back and check all of our Rotten Tomatoes score predictions. Rotten Tomatoes score prediction for The Circle. Sonia Mansfield.
I'm going to say 82.
Peter.
I'm going to say 74.
Oh, damn. I'm going to say 75 because I think it's going to be good. I think people are going to like it, but I think I got a feeling they're not going to love it. Or they're not going to go completely nuts for it. All right, so 50 Shades Darker.
Speaking of things that people don't love.
We say that, but why are they making a sequel if they don't love it? All right, everybody, go out right now. Certain people don't go out right now. Colin, you know who you are. Don't go out right now and watch this trailer. Everybody else, take a look. So, that's going to exist.
I resent you saying earlier that one was for me. I have no interest in that one. Just like I had no interest in the first one.
You should resent it. It's quite offensive, what I said.
Gosh.
But you know that it's the movie sequel that all the lonely wives they've been waiting for.
They have.
Can I go first on this one?
Yeah, have at it.
Okay. So this was seriously cringeworthy. Like really, really cringeworthy trailer. I was sitting through it laughing and then kind of hiding my eyes, and it was really, really bad. I mean, people talked about that Ghostbusters trailer being like the worst trailer of all time or whatever. Like this trumps it by far. It's just such a terrible, terrible trailer. It's just.
I was just thinking
so
if you say something trumps something, it's got a whole new meaning now.
If we're not careful, that's the thing. Yeah, exactly. If we're not careful, we're going to start a third drinking game where every time we mention Trump, These are all sad, awful drinking games. But
I can't believe that this is a movie that's going to play in movie theaters. How this movie exists outside of Cinemax, I don't know.
It looks so terrible.
Well, it does look terrible, but the cinematography looks pretty good. it looks like a movie. But yeah, I have not read the books.
Something they're going to put on the poster. Like, it's a movie.
It looks like a movie.
Christopher Alan Smith, Dorking Out Show.
Well,
you know what? I mean, I know the books like sold like a gazillion dollars and things like that, but like, is this what? I mean, I don't know. Is this what women really want in their movies? I mean, like, it just seems so bloody awful.
As a woman, I can say no. It's not what I want.
But we have to admit, the first one and the books are crazy, crazy popular. So,
yeah, but so are Twilight. So
yeah. So people wanted it. Yes. Yeah.
That doesn't mean it's good.
No one's arguing that it's good. I'm just arguing that it's what people want. Sometimes people want. I am a poster child for wanting things that are not good to eat. So there are people like me, metaphorically big fat people, that want this. They wanted it last year. They want it this year. They're going to want it next year. I don't understand it, but yeah. 50 Shades. Well, okay. 50 Shades Darker is part of the reason this is striking us as so weird. One, it looks incredibly corny. But two, there's almost no nudity or sex in movies anymore. Like the Fatal Attractions, they don't make those anymore.
Like Basic Instinct.
Basic Instinct, they don't make those anymore. What was the movie with Richard Gere and Diane Lane, also directed by the guy that did Fatal Attraction?
Unfaithful.
They don't make those anymore. They don't make big budget, big movies where sex is a central idea or theme in it anymore.
I guess that's true.
But all of these were also thrillers, though. So they were also had something else involved with the sex. Like, this is just two people having sex, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they work out their commitment issues.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
and terrible acting.
So let me get this straight.
So what you're saying, Smith, though, about the movies that don't have sex in them anymore, it's because they rarely make movies that are kind of for adults anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
And
oh, my God.
I'm sorry. I don't even know if 50 Shades Darker is... I mean, I guess it's rated R, so it's technically for adults, but I feel like it's for, like, younger...
Well, it's not for kids.
No, but, like, I feel like it's, like, for 20 and 21-year-olds. So.
Oh, if they could get away with doing a PG-13 cut, they definitely would.
Right.
You know, so I just went over to the director of 50 Shades Darker. Directed by James Foley, the director of... Glengarry Glen Ross. So that
is weird.
That is the sound of my heart breaking just a little bit.
So let me ask you guys this: like, what's the longevity of the career of Dakota Johnson and the other guy? What's his name? Jamie Dornan?
I think so.
Like, what is the longevity of their careers because of these movies?
That is a good question, because she has been in, she was in Black Mass. That was good. She was in How to Be Single, which I heard was meh. She was in 21 Jump Street. You know what, buddy? I don't know, because I've seen her on some talk shows, and usually actors are on their best behavior.
I think people like her. I think that she will get work outside of these movies. She hosted SNL. People seem to like that.
Yeah.
That guy, though, I'm like, he could be anyone. I don't even remember what he looks like. I just watched that preview.
I think, you know what? I think they're, well, here. Yeah, so Jamie Dornan, what you're saying is he is a 1, he's a 2.
I was going to say, what is he on the scale?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. He's like a nothing on the scale, right? I mean, he's like right above Freddie Prinze Jr.
That's right. He's
like a 5.
So he's like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the Freddie Prinze Jr. scale, and she is
like a 1,000 maybe.
I don't know.
No, wait, 1,000 is the tops, right? No, 100,000.
I think it's 100,000. No, for her.
So,
yeah. Dakota Johnson for me. What was the what did we come up with? What was the female? Oh, the
Rachel Lee Cook.
Rachel Lee Cook scale. So yeah, I think she's nearly a 1 on the Rachel Lee Cook scale because she's just inert. She's just.
See, I disagree.
Yeah. No, I don't know.
I would put her a few notches above Rachel Lee Cook.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
10.
But just because
20?
she has been in some of these darker movies, these shades of gray movies. Other than that, if you take out that, then she's definitely down. She's inert. But
Yeah.
but this kind of buoys her up a little bit. So.
Maybe, I don't know. She just does absolutely nothing for me as an actress. All right, on with the show.
What? We didn't pick our numbers.
Damn it!
Oh,
I'm sorry. I keep forgetting. Don't worry, I will
Peter
remember
Brown.
by the time we get to fist fight.
What is your?
I'm gonna say 32.
All right,
was
what,
gonna-
It's still going to be some
25.
people who are going to pander to the single housewives and some other people out there who are going to give it favorable reviews. Everybody else is going to pan.
I'm gonna say 25.
well, I'm gonna say 50 Shades of Grey was 25, so I'm gonna say 35. I'm gonna say it's gonna go up a little because of the director, James Foley. But I gotta say, I'm really not. Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. Not one of us is gonna see this movie.
Nope.
No.
All right, so I think we've talked about it enough. Moving
I think
on, Baywatch, The Rock,
Right.
in the role he was probably born to play as the
I don't know. You could say that a lot about a lot of his movies. You can say that.
That's right. So let's take a look at the preview for next summer's Baywatch movie. Sonia Mansfield.
Yep.
If I know you, you were a huge David Hasselhoff, Pam
That is-
Anderson
Not true.
fan.
No,
think it
I
is.
don't know why you're filling this podcast with your lies. That is not true.
Because it's fun. That's why.
I don't know if I've actually ever seen an episode of Baywatch, but I know what it is. You mentioned earlier, actually, kind of what I had already written down in my notes, which was it's really getting the 21 Jump Street treatment.
Yes.
And I thought I didn't see the second one, but 21 Jump Street, it had some good laughs in it. I'm like, this might have some solid laughs.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm definitely there. I really like both 21 Jump Streets, and there was a very self-conscious 21 Jump Street style joke in the preview for Baywatch where they said, we need to renew the brand or something, talking in this very meta way. Zach what? Wait a minute, hold on.
Zac Efron.
Zac Efron, yeah.
Zac Efron is also in this.
Right.
And he's actually... Wasn't he one of those pretty boys a couple years ago that everybody was just not loving and they were just loving to make fun of him?
He was in all the High School Musical movies.
Okay.
And then he was in those movies with about neighbors. I think they were called Neighbors.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
See,
so he was in those movies. Yeah.
I've liked him in pretty much everything I've seen him in. So
You loved him in High School Musical.
I haven't seen him in it. Nice try. But no, I think this looks fun, but I'm just I might see it, I might not. I'm torn. Actually,
What
I'm
do you
not
think,
torn.
Peter?
I'm not really enthusiask about it.
So I'm with you. I probably won't see it in the theater. I'll wait for it to come out. Maybe even HBO probably. But you guys are saying it's kind of looking kind of 21 Jump Street, 22 Jump Street kind of thing, which I also liked both of those movies. I kind of didn't get it that so much from the trailer. I thought it was almost taking itself a little too seriously at times, and that may be a problem because it should be more like 21 Jump Street. in that it's poking fun at itself and not taking itself seriously at all. And it seemed like The Rock was especially like doing a straight-laced kind of version of it. And if that's the case, it may be doomed.
Oh, that would be spectacular. If this was actually, like if they cut a trailer to make it look kind of like a comedy when it was in fact super dark and nihilistic. That would be fantastic.
Now that one I'd be interested in seeing.
Now I'm not saying there wasn't moments of levity in there.
Yeah.
There was, but like I was watching it and I was like, are they doing a serious take on this? Like really? Like that was my reaction.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. I don't know how this is going to go now.
Yeah, I think it's pretty jokey, but I do have to say it looked like they were trying to have fun, like they were trying to be irreverent about it. You know, a bunch of years ago, Brady Bunch kind of did this first, where they take a property that is kind of cheesy and crappy, but everybody loves, and then they modernize it, and they don't, you know, they kind of do the opposite of what Michael Bay has done with Transformers, which just takes itself so stupidly serious and all that. They just say, this is trash culture. We're just going to have fun tearing it apart and going nuts with it. So it could be good, but I could see what they were trying to do, but I didn't laugh a whole lot. And it seemed almost like they were trying one or two steps too hard.
Right.
So I don't know.
Now the director Seth Gordon actually, and looking at his IMDb, is probably I'm wrong about what I just said. Given that almost everything he's done is a comedy kind of thing. He did Horrible Bosses. He did Identity Thief, like those movies. He's done a lot of sitcom directing.
Right.
He also did King of Kong, the Fistful of Quarters documentary, which is really, really good. It's about a modern day people doing arcade games and they're fighting over the high score.
I know that.
So yeah.
Identity Thief and Horrible Bosses. That's not really selling me on it.
Well, you know, it's funny. I actually liked Horrible Bosses. I thought it was. I think that actually came up in our review of Office Christmas Party last night.
Yeah.
I liked it. I thought it was fun. I think I've seen parts of Identity was not that great. However, one of the writers of Identity Thief is a fantastic podcaster who does the Script Notes podcast. That's great. So
okay,
that's another podcast plug I'm going to throw out there. So Sonia, what do you think? Well, actually, yeah. What are your thoughts on Baywatch? Are you excited? What did you think of the preview?
I already gave my thoughts.
Did
Do you want me to repeat them? Yes.
No, that's all right.
I went first.
I wasn't paying attention the first time, apparently. So let's just move on.
That's fine. So I think this is going to have a 50% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, I'm kind of close to you. I would say probably 57.
Okay. I'm getting an almost San Andreas vibe from this also, which got a 48. So I'm going to say, because it's trying to be funny, I'm going to say that they're going to give it something. So I'm going to say 58 also, I guess.
All right.
I really like San Andreas, actually.
It was fine. I'm going to say it's not going to be it's not going to be over 60%, but it's going to be close because people are going to, you're going to get those critics that have to take everything so seriously, and they're going to kick it in the teeth. Then you're going to get those critics that kind of like the fact that it's trying to be a comedy, and they're going to give it some points, but I think the execution's not going to be that great, so I'm going to say 58. All right. That is that. All right. Now, on to the year of Marvel. 3 Marvel movies are coming out next year. Actually, is it 3 or is it 2? It is 3, isn't it?
Just 2. What's the third one?
I thought Thor Ragnarok.
Spider-Man, Guardians, and
No, because
Thor.
3.
That is, yeah.
Oh, you're right. Okay, I forgot about Thor.
Right. Yeah, well, yeah, that's the thing, because for a while it was, they 1 a year, then it was 2 a year. Now it's going to be 3 a year, and it looks like in 2019, because they've just announced Spider-Man Homecoming 2 coming out in 2019, we might have 2019 might be the year that we get 4 Marvel movies in 1 year. which is holy
A
cow.
lot. Yeah,
Yes.
that's a lot.
I'm wondering, now I almost want to see how much they can pack on. So, with all of that pre-babble out of the way, let's take a look at the preview, the domestic preview for Spider-Man Homecoming. Sonia Mansfield,
Yes.
guess what I'm going to ask you? What did you think of the preview for Spider-Man Homecoming?
I have to say, good news, you guys. We don't have to sit through Uncle Ben dying again.
No.
Yay!
See, that's what I was gonna say. I was gonna ask. I was gonna ask to see if
Aw.
Uncle Ben was gonna be in this, and we're gonna see him die.
Oh, maybe.
Wah, wah, wah.
Sorry. Maybe
Nah.
there'll be like an extra bonus scene during the credits just for
Wait,
you.
how do you know that we're not gonna see him die?
Exactly.
He might be.
Because
a
I've already
flashback.
seen it. No, because it's already like he's already Spider-Man.
You act
Yeah, that doesn't
as
mean
though
they won't. Yeah,
you act as though we don't live in a world with flashbacks.
exactly.
He could flashback. He was already intimating in Captain America: Civil War that Ben had died, and it was tearing him up, and he was thinking about it. I would not rule out the possibility of him getting some pensive look off into the distance in the middle of the movie when the chips are down, thinking and then remembering the death
Don't
of
ruin
Uncle
this
Ben.
for me.
I'm sorry. Could happen.
Sonia, I will echo the statement that you said to me when I asked if in the Lego Batman trailer if the Waynes were going to die in it. I said, how will we know otherwise?
That's true.
That's
How
right.
will we
How
know?
would we know?
otherwise if we don't see Uncle Ben die?
That's right. So,
Because they can't just tell us.
ooh, snap.
You
Ouch.
just see it. If we don't see it, then it didn't happen.
That's
right, exactly.
So
keep going.
I'm married to a really big Spider-Man fan,
Yeah.
and he said that this is the Spider-Man movie he's been waiting for since 2004's Spider-Man 2.
Wow.
He loves the look of it.
Uh-huh.
Like, he thinks Spider-Man looks the way he's supposed to look. And I know he loves the humor because, Spidey's a pretty funny guy. And he said on his way out the door tonight, I just hope there's not too much Iron Man in it. So
Yeah.
there's David Tracy's thoughts on Spider-Man.
That's a pretty good thing. I wonder if there's almost like a Batman thing going on with Spider-Man. In that first there was Batman 66 way back in the 60s, and that was not the Batman that everybody loved. Then there was Tim Burton's Batman, which was closer, but still pretty rough around the edges, still not quite there, still not whatever. And then finally we got Christopher Nolan's Batman, which was like, this is Batman. They finally got Batman right from beginning to end. It's exciting. It takes itself seriously enough, but it captures enough of what people love. So maybe as somebody who
There's people who say that that's not their Batman.
You forgot the George Clooney Batman.
Well, I'm talking about that whole series. No, unfortunately, until I get a stroke.
Or the Val Kilmer Batman.
That's right. No.
Killer.
Until I get a stroke, I will not forget about the George Clooney Batman because it was burned in my brain. In fact, it holds a special designation in my heart as the most unpleasant, worst film-going experience I have ever had. Ever!
However, I will point out to you that the people said the exact same thing about the Ben Affleck Batman, that was the Batman that they were waiting to see.
That is true. You're right. So I guess what I'm thinking is, sometimes when you put these things on screen, it takes a while even now, to translate what is the cool thing about it in the comic or in a book or whatever to the big screen. So, it could just be that they tried a couple of things. They got a couple aspects right with Sam Raimi. They got a couple other aspects right with the Amazing Spider-Man movies. And then now, hopefully, we're going to have a good one. Now, this is a Marvel movie.
Yep.
And if you listen to any of the bitter DC fans in the world, and there are an increasing amount given the more movies they put out, there could be like a Marvel inflation on the Rotten Tomato score. So what are we expecting?
Wait,
Spider-Man.
Can I give my impression?
Oh,
Yeah,
did I? I am. It's almost as though I am not paying attention at all. Peter, what are your thoughts on this? I'm sorry, buddy.
So I have actually a number of thoughts about this. So I don't know if it's just maybe I've seen so many Marvel movies that now they're all starting to kind of seem very similar to me. But this trailer really seemed like I had already kind of seen this movie in a number of ways. Like it's same kind of film style, same kind of punny humor, all those kinds of things going on. And I'm not saying it's going to be bad. I'm just saying it seems like maybe Marvel is getting to the point where we're having like it just kind of seems a little repetitious. And so I liked it in a lot of ways. I think Tom Holland is great as Spider-Man. Sorry. And I like kind of all the humor and stuff, but I just kind of felt like when I was watching it, felt like I kind of seen it before. And maybe that's because we had already seen him in Civil War. I'm not sure, but
I think those Marvel movies, they do have a formula, and I think you're just seeing the formula. I mean,
maybe that's it.
Definitely, we talked about this when we saw Doctor Strange, how, I mean, it just has that formula, almost beat for beat.
Yeah. And I think all the Iron Man things are a red herring, actually. I think what happens is he probably appears at the beginning, and that's probably the last shot where they show him and Spider-Man flying together. I think that's probably at the very beginning, and then that little scene in the limo is there, and then that's it. So I don't think he's probably in it a lot, is my guess.
Yeah. No, I think you're probably right. I think it feels as though they're pushing Iron Man in our face, which I think is kind of like, hey, good news, this thing you love, it's in this movie too. That's definitely something that Sony wanted when they let Marvel kind of take over the producing for those movies. But yeah, I am very heartened to hear the writers and directors and producers talking about they're going for a very John Hughes vibe.
That's interesting.
That's interesting.
Yeah, they're talking about the Breakfast Club and Say Anything and 16 Candles when it comes to the high school aspect of it.
Those aren't pillows.
Isn't that Planes, Trains, and Automobiles?
Yeah, that's also a John Hughes.
That's right. That's true.
It is.
So, So
Spider-Man and Iron Man go on the road together.
They get stranded.
They get stranded somewhere.
Actually, wasn't that Iron Man 3? All right, sorry.
Probably.
Which I still loved, even though it did. Actually, we're not going to get into that right now. However, one last thing I wanted to say. Michael Keaton. He was in there just a little bit, but seeing Michael Keaton come back to big screen movie making in a serious, meaty role, I am very excited about.
Yeah. He's playing Birdman again.
I was going to say, is there any correlation between that? I wonder.
That would be great if we find out that Birdman is actually a Marvel Cinematic Universe.
It was a vulture the whole time.
That's right. That's right. So,
I did think the vulture looked pretty cool, though.
He did too. That's the thing that I think is amazing about what Marvel does is they're able to take these ridiculous things in the comic books, translate them almost exactly as they are in the comic books, but tweak them just enough so they're not dumb and embarrassing and spandexy and stupid. So, yeah, I am excited for next year, but I'm
gonna
say
83.
I was gonna say 80.
Yeah, you know what? I was gonna say around there too. So I'm gonna say 85. Just, I don't think it's gonna be go nuts over the top like, into the 90s like Guardians of the Galaxy or Iron Man. But I think it's gonna be high, just like everything that Marvel does, because it's great. Please pay us money, Disney. All right. Moving on to maybe the movie that I am looking forward to most next year, And I am including Star Wars when I say that.
That's weird.
War for the Planet of the Apes! Let's take a look. So, that is our first glimpse at the third Planet of the Apes reboot movie. Peter Brown. I want you to sit there and be quiet, because I'm asking Sonia Mansfield what she thinks.
You're going to be so upset with me when I tell you that I have never seen any of the Planet of the Apes movies.
No kidding.
None of them.
Okay.
Not even the Mark Wahlberg version?
You know what? I saw the original with Charlton Heston. You know what? I did see the one with Mark Wahlberg. You're right. I did see that.
That one. Oh, my God. That one was bad.
And it was really bad. And I think that's why I haven't seen the other ones. But also, and we've talked about this before, I don't really like to see movies that star animals, even CGI animals.
No kidding.
You delicate flower.
But I will say the visual effects look really amazing in that preview.
Yeah.
Really, really, really awesome.
Yeah. No,
That's true.
I think that Andy Serkis's performance as Caesar in these movies is insane. Like, every time he did King Kong, and there was some chatter about, well, maybe we need to start recognizing these CGI performers, these actors that are, kind of essentially wearing CGI costumes, for want of a better term. And what he's done with Caesar is insane. What I would definitely recommend, go see Rise of the Planet of the Apes, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. The first one of these with James Franco.
But that's the one that, I saw some of it on TV and it made me want to cry.
Sarah, it's doing it right then. See, that's
so
the
sad.
thing. It is sad, but it's very affecting. These are really good, really emotional, really somewhat complex movies that I think I think they're just great. What were you going to say, Peter?
I said for a minute there, I thought you were going to say go see the Hobbit movies. Check out his version of that. But I was like, no, I don't think I'll go see those again.
No, we're not doing that. But no,
all 6 of them.
That's right. What do you think of this new rebooted Planet of the Apes series?
It's all right. I'm not the biggest fan of these movies, as I think you are, Chris. But they're okay. I have nothing really against them. I don't really look forward to them. I kind of think like the original series. I think as they kind of go on, they kind of get maybe long in the tooth, because like the original Planet of the Apes was really good. And then you had like Beneath the Planet of the Apes, which was all right. And then you get like Escape from the Planet of the Apes and the Conquest of the Planet of the Apes. And it just gets kind of more and more like it's just the same thing over and over again. So I'm kind of getting that vibe here. It's just like, oh, they're fighting against the apes again. And
then you have Going Ape. You have Going Ape. Yeah. No good.
It's like a real left turn at the end.
Yeah, haven't we already kind of seen this in the previous movie and the movie before that? So I'm a little I don't know.
Well,
maybe not for me.
I have 2 things to say to that. One, when it comes to the original series of movies, I completely agree with you. The first one is an undisputed, spectacular classic. Actually, now that I think about it, a week or 2 ago, we talked about our favorite Christmas movies, and I said that It's a Wonderful Life is a great Twilight Zone episode. The first Planet of the Apes movie is a spectacular Twilight Zone type episode of astronauts crash down, everything's reversed and weird, and it's great. And it was also written by Rod Serling. Anyway, my point is, yes, the rest of that series you can pretty much throw out. These movies, however, I think this should be the model of how you reboot or remake a series of movies. I think the kind of the issues that they raised in the first movie is all, takes place. Well, you know what, Sonia? Go see it and let's talk about it. Mm-hmm. You know what? We should start a segment where we make each other watch movies.
We should. That's a great idea.
So, okay, here's what we're going to do. Sonia Mansfield, Think of
Okay.
a movie you're going to make me watch.
All right.
Because I'm going to make you watch the first Planet of the Apes movie.
Okay.
But and then you can decide if you want to watch the next one, because they are both very good movies. And
All right,
actually, a lot of people like the second one more, but I think they're both great.
She's going to make you watch Battleship.
Have you seen Footloose?
Already seen? Yeah, I've seen. Oh wait, do you mean the second one?
No.
No. Yes.
The first one.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I've seen Footloose. Yeah.
Okay. Have you seen Grease 2?
Yes, I have.
Damn it! All right, I'll keep thinking.
So yes, sorry. Actually, this might be tougher for you than it is for me.
Have you seen 50 Shades of Grey?
You shut your mouth, Peter Brown. You shut it, and you shut it quick. Actually, you know what? Hold on. I've seen about 2 minutes of 50 Shades of Grey. And I saw
That's all it took, huh? That's all it took.
Let's not go into that joke. But I saw it in the worst possible way, because I was checking into a hotel room with my family, and we turned the television on, but for some reason the channel up and down button wouldn't work. And it was stuck on HBO when nudity parts of 50 Shades of Grey was on there. And we're sitting there looking at, like, what the heck are we watching? Because we hadn't seen the movie, and we couldn't get the controller to go up to change the channel. It was a whole mess. And my son
I wonder why the remote was sticky.
I don't know. But I didn't. God. Jeez. All right. So
Dakota Johnson was much higher on his Rachel Lee Cook scale then.
That's right. The point is, Sonia's not going to make me watch 50 Shades of Grey just to be spiteful.
I'm really not. I wouldn't do that.
She's going to find something else to make me watch.
Yeah.
But all right, War for the Planet of the Apes. I guess, Sonia, you're going to be pulling this out of thin air.
I am.
What is your Rotten Tomatoes prediction?
I'm going to say 65.
All right. Peter, sorry.
Okay.
I assumed you could go.
Yeah, I'll say, the other ones I think scored well. So I'll probably, even though, like I said, this probably isn't a movie for me, I'll say 81.
81. All right. So
Pretty high.
Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, which is the second of the reboots. Rise of the Planet of the Apes is the first of the reboots. Those two names should be reversed, but whatever. Dawn of the Planet of the Apes got 90 on Rotten Tomatoes. So, Rise of the Planet of the Apes got an 82. So you're predicting 80?
80. I said 81.
81. All right, Sonia.
I said 65.
That's right. And I was typing, and I can only do one thing at a time. I am going to say 89. I think it's not going to be as high as the other one. This trailer looks spectacular to me, and putting it together with what I know of the first two, I'm crazy excited. So it's going to be great. You guys don't know what you're talking about. On to the next movie. Guardians of the Galaxy. Because we have to talk about Marvel all the time. Let's...
Money, please.
Please give us money, Disney. All right. Sonia Mansfield.
This is the movie I'm most excited about.
Hold it right there. I am going to talk to Peter Brown first.
How dare you?
See what I did there? Now I'm doing it to you. Peter, tell me what you think, quick, before she throws something at me.
So, we got that earlier trailer, which they called the full trailer, but it was actually more of a tease. This is the first kind of real trailer we get, and I liked it. I thought it was really good. More of the same from the first movie. It's good to kind of see them all back together and all that kind of crazy comedy that they do, kind of deadpan stuff too. I think it's going to be really good. I'm really excited for it, just like Sonia.
All right, Sonia Mansfield, what do you think?
I don't have anything to say. No, I'm just kidding. I'm all in for this movie. I'm really excited for it. It's, I think Guardians of the Galaxy is my favorite of the Marvel movies. And I think this preview looks really, really funny. I all the stuff with the baby Groot and the bomb and,
Right.
don't push the button. I mean, that's like right out of Looney Tunes for me.
Yeah, it is.
So funny. And I love Drax as well. Like, everybody talks about Chris Pratt and the raccoon and Baby Groot, but I actually really like Drax a lot. I like how deadpan he is and how he can't read social cues at all.
Exactly, yeah.
Haha, she told your deepest dark secret. Like, do me next.
Do me next, yeah.
Funny.
So, I was saying about the Spider-Man trailer that, that I kind of felt like I'd seen it before. Like, I was just saying that. Like, this is the exact opposite. Like, this, I don't feel like I've seen it before. This is kind of like a fresh kind of take on Marvel stuff. And that's why I really liked it that much more. So it's kind of different. So maybe that's why I'm more excited for this one than I was for Spider-Man.
Okay.
What do you think, Smith?
Well, here's the thing, and here's where I'm going to come off as a total critic.
Boo.
I am really excited for this movie. Guardians of the Galaxy is one of my 3 favorite Marvel movies. It's up, depending on the mood I'm in, it's either number 1, number 2, sometimes number 3. I really like it. But, and this is going to sound bizarre, and I know how this is going to sound even as I say it, it's only fun. It's only a fun roller coaster. There's no, overarching themes. There's no hidden message. There's no kind of change in the characters or whatever. It is just a blast from beginning to end. Oh, okay. Persuade me.
Well, all the stuff with the raccoon, I mean, that's so weird to say. But like, he undergoes the change. I mean, he's, kind of a jerk and a loner, and all the, where they're all flying their ships together, and he's actually sad when some of the ships are lost. And, when Groot is, killed, quote unquote. Like, he's really sad. And I think all of them joining hands at the end.
The We Are Groot? Okay. See, but is the theme we should all be friends? Is that the theme? Misfits should get together and be friends?
Or maybe, about working together and you're, making your own family and
okay. Yeah. Yeah, all right, I'll give you that. Yeah, the working together. I don't know, the working together, that's a message for like a straight to DVD Disney movie. That's not a message for an adult movie, and I realize how ridiculous that sounds since it's a comic book movie.
You'll find a hero in an unlikely
That's true.
place. Okay. I just really liked it, and I have to say, like, this is maybe a little off topic, but one of the reasons I love Drax so much is Drax has been kind of adopted by the autism community because he can't read social cues, and he's so socially awkward and deadpan that people with autism really relate to him. And I think that's shows, I think there's just some other things going on in this movie that, maybe it speaks to different people on different levels.
Yeah, I'll get it. Huh. And I'll admit, I am laying this burden on to Guardians of the Galaxy because I love it so much, and I think that these kinds of movies have the potential to be so much more. But so it's really not fair of me to just lay it on like, oh, it should be super fun and more. It's just I get that, especially how I'm going to gush about a movie coming up that is just people are going to listen to this and wonder what the heck
we already talked about 50 Shades of.
That's right.
50 Shades darker. So wait a minute. Are you telling me then that the message in Civil War was that no matter how many people your best friend kills, you've got to stay by his side?
Well, no, actually, that is really funny because Civil War is one of the movies that is one of my favorites, but I have come to just think of it as Iron Man 4. That movie is the one that has the most interesting arc, the one that has the most interesting story, and the character that I think works really thematically and really interesting through all the Marvel movies is Tony Stark. If you watch his arc from beginning to end and how he's kind of becoming older, harder, more embittered, more, not loving this life that they're leading and trying to figure out a way out, trying to do all these things that end up in tragedy and murder and whatever. Captain America is letting his friends off the hook for murder because they're his friends. I am 100% in
I do the same thing all the time.
By the way, I totally agree with you there.
Yeah. So
He's totally letting them off the hook for murder.
He is. Well, that's the thing is I think in the comic books, I haven't read the Civil War series, but I am totally on Team Captain America. I'm totally for the government can stick it where they whatever. I'm not signing these things. You're not going to tell me who to fight. If I have to, and even Steve Rogers at the beginning of the movie is like, if they tell us to go fight here where we don't want to, or they tell us not to fight when we feel like we have to, what are we going to do? And then he finds out that his friend murdered Tony's parents, and he doesn't say anything. He doesn't do anything. At the end, Tony says, "Hey, did you know this?" And he goes, "Yeah, I knew it."
Exactly.
And then
but he's my friend.
But he's my friend, and then he just beats the crap out of him. He and his murdering friend team up on the son of the parents that guy murdered. What was it? What now that I think about it, what was the Winter Soldier trying to do at that moment? Was he trying to say, you know what, I'm going to kill all the Starks, and he just tears them apart? Well. Yeah, exactly. It's just the more we talk about it, the more if you think about it as Iron Man 4, the movie works even better, and it is a fantastic movie. So, sorry. Guardians of the Galaxy. What are our predictions for Guardians of the Galaxy?
I'm going to say 85.
Yeah, I'm almost right there with you. I think I'm going to go with 87.
All right, Guardians of the Galaxy. The first one was 90. Now, the thing that's interesting about these Marvel movies is they do keep a kind of equal level or nearly equal level of quality as they go on. So if the first Iron Man was good, second one was not so good. Third one was almost as good as the first one. The Captain America movies started, I thought, fantastic, but they've marched up in score. So I'm going to say, but I don't think that's going to hold for Guardians of the Galaxy. I think it's going to be 80. People are still going to love it, but I think the sheen of this new surprising, shocking movie is worn off. I think it's going to be 80.
Okay.
Which brings us to Fate of the Furious, the 8th movie in the...
Get it? Fate 8.
Fate 8. I hate to say it. I went half a day without even understanding that. Actually, no, wait. I went a full day without even understanding. Oh, Fate. Yeah, 8. I got it. Let's take a look. Now, a moment ago, I'm going to step in here. A moment ago, I just ran down Guardians of the Galaxy a little bit for not being more than fun, being only fun. So, my very guilty anticipation for going to see Fate of the Furious cannot be defended. I am excited to see these. It's almost as though Doc Brown went back in time to the 80s, pulled out the quintessential 80s action movie, brought it into the future, and produced it with modern technology, and that's what we have in the Fast and the Furious franchise. They are probably the dumbest fun in movies today. But
didn't these movies used to be about street racing?
They did. Yes.
I think the very first two were, and then that was it.
Because those are the only ones I've seen.
That's what's really interesting about this series. I think the first 3 were about street racing. Now it's like a weird
spy action movie or something.
Yeah, exactly.
There's like a submarine in there?
Exactly. They've just become more and more ridiculous as they've gone on. So, like a copy of a copy of a copy of a copy. Yeah, they started out with Paul Walker investigating Vin Diesel for illegal street racing in Los Angeles. Period. That's what that movie was about. Then then they couldn't get, I think, either one of those back, so they made Tokyo Drift, which was...
No, that was the third one.
Oh,
That's
sorry.
the third
Sorry.
one.
Yeah. Then they got only Paul Walker back for the second one, and he was FBI agent that drove around fast cars in Florida, I think, which was like, bleh. Then...
And they couldn't get either of them back in the third one. That's why they did the Tokyo Drift.
Right. Then they did Tokyo Drift, which is this weird out of left field whatever.
Which takes place prior to 4, 5, 6, or 4, 5, and 6, I believe.
Yeah, no.
And then...
It takes place after, doesn't it? That's the
I'm
thing.
sorry, you're
it
right.
takes place
Yeah,
after. Yes.
After 4, 5, and 6.
So the chronology of the
So
Fast and the
8
Furious
merges
movies.
these timelines, though. Yeah,
Well,
that's what I saw on Twitter.
well, I think it's already done. You know, 8. The Fast and the Furious chronology is more screwed up than the Star Wars chronology when it comes to the order in which they produced the movies.
What about
Anyway.
the X-Men timeline? Is it more screwed up than
No, actually, no. You're right. Well, the X-Men timeline is the most screwed up timeline in pop culture. So that's just and plus it doesn't matter anymore. It's funny, you hear these Star Trek fans bitch about the timeline and how it erased all of whatever. I think hasn't the X-Men timeline been erased like twice now? So none of the movies we've seen exist anymore.
And it may be getting erased again with Logan.
That's right. Now that I think about it, why are we spending this much time talking about X-Men? It's a zombie franchise. It's still moving, but it's dead. Fate of the Furious, Sonia Mansfield. What are your thoughts on Vin Diesel?
I'm confused by this preview because, like I said, I thought this was about street racing, and now it's like a weird spy action movie. I've only seen the first 2, so I'm a little out of the loop, but I will say, like, I do like that there's a lot of action. It looks like it's a fun action movie. And I like it's got a diverse cast. I think it's super weird that Charlize Theron's in it.
Yeah.
Like,
It's a logical follow-up from Mad Max, right?
Why, after you make Mad Max Fury Road and, sure, why wouldn't Oscar winner Charlize Theron be in the Fate of the Furious? Seems weird.
We say that, but these movies have been getting more and more popular as they've gone on. And I think the last one was right behind Jurassic World in terms of the money that it pulled in.
Right.
It was insanely popular.
So if I went to see this one, do I need to watch the other 7?
Maybe.
Well, here's the thing. In order to understand it, you should probably know the story of the other ones. But does anyone really need to watch any Fast and Furious movie?
Now, you do, apparently.
Exactly. See, that's the thing. I say that as somebody that's watched them all, but they are... If there's something less permanent than cotton candy, that's what these movies are. They are fun for a moment, and then they're gone. I have
one more question.
Yeah.
In this preview, I noticed, how come all the men are driving and they have women sitting in the passenger seat?
I don't know.
What do they do in the passenger seat? They just go along for the ride and give them someone to say witty one-liners to?
Well,
or
yeah.
Do the women drive the cars too at some point?
Well,
and we
actually,
just don't see it in the previews?
Now that I think about it, I think they do. And also, they're like, computer techs or whatever. I think they're all. So, yeah.
I was going to say that the apocalypse hasn't happened, and that's why there's no female drivers.
Because that's what it would take.
Oh yeah, we saw it in Mad Max.
Well, everyone knows women drivers. Am I right, you guys? Women drivers.
Hey, you
point. No. I wasn't alluding to that.
No, that's what you meant. That's exactly what you meant, Peter Brown.
It was a Mad Max reference. But
Peter, yeah, we understand. Peter Brown, AX, on Twitter. That's where you can find him. I don't need this headache. Just send it directly to Peter. Peter Brown.
Peter, what do you think?
Yeah, what do you think?
Like Chris, I'm actually a fan of these movies too, because it's leave your brain at the door kind of movies. So you just kind of, you go into it expecting it to be fun, and that's it. You don't have to think too hard or pay attention really. You can just kind of enjoy it. I do think the idea of them kind of changing it up with Vin Diesel's character kind of going bad, it's kind of an interesting way to go, and kind of made sense in terms of what they need to do to kind of maybe continue the franchise. I doubt he will probably stay bad the entire film, but it's interesting, and it's kind of different from what they've done before.
Yeah, that was one thing. And that was one thing that I kind of liked about this. And when you have a series like this, I almost wish they would do this more in the Marvel movies or other movies, is, when you have a character that's around for a while, have them change and have him be a bad guy, I think it's a great move. There comes a point, where your hero has beaten so many people, you got to try to figure out what kind of villain could stand up to him. And when you have a team movie like this, that's a smart way to go. You have to fight one of your own.
He's only a bad guy to protect his family.
I'm sure he's and Charlize Theron is making him be a bad guy. She's got something to go against. Yeah, no, all of that is true. But I
haven't even seen the movies, and I know that.
Well, exactly,
because he does everything for his family.
That's right. Sweet. Yeah, it is amazing. A movie series has not crammed family down our throats this much since the Godfather movies. Every preview is just family, family, family. I do this for my family, mi familia. We're all going to be family. And they look at each other across a picnic table. They gaze at each other while they're eating barbecues. And it's so great. And then, there's nothing that I can say to defend these movies.
Man, that whole tribute to Paul Walker in the last one.
That's right. With his weird synthetic face grafted onto the body of other people. That was...
Maybe they'll bring him back for this one.
Ooh, it doesn't seem to be in this one.
Probably not. All right.
I wouldn't rule it out.
So, Fate of the Furious. What are your guesses?
I'm gonna say 70.
Let's
see. I think probably 75.
75. So let's take a look here. Fast and the Furious was 53. Too Fast, Too Furious was 36. The Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift 37. Fast and Furious was 28. That was, that's a weird one.
I don't think it really hit its stride till 5, though, right?
Well, here's the thing. You're right. But Fast and Furious was ridiculous. It's really interesting looking at this. Fast and Furious brought back Paul Walker, brought back Vin Diesel, and it was just dumb fun. And I think, directed by Justin Lin, and I think what happened is, for the first 4 movies, critics were like, what the hell are these things? The first one tried to be kind of a serious crime something. Second one was just cashing in. Third one was just out in left field, whatever. Fourth one was just like the critics were ready to bash it or whatever. They didn't understand what it had transformed into. Is this just stupid, the most fun, the dumbest fun in pop culture. And then for Fast 5, 77. Certified fresh. Fast and Furious 6, 69. Furious 7, 79. So I think, around the 5th one, critics at least started understanding what these were. And,
I love that you're like, it's the critics. It's not that the movies actually got better.
Well, no, see, that's the thing. They didn't get better, but they kind of embraced their cheesiness. It's, this is a discussion that we've had a lot is, what is the movie trying to do? And is it doing the thing it's trying to do well? Is it hitting the target it's trying to hit? And I would say...
How many movie franchises have actually gotten that kind of a swing in history? Not that many, I think, right? I mean, that have gone from low Rotten Tomato scores to the later versions of the franchise actually doing better.
Yeah. No,
Is there any that you can think of that has done that? I mean, most usually the movies peak at the number 1 or number 2, and then it really goes off.
I can't think of one that's done this. Because I think the first ones were trying to be like, oh, we're serious crime movie or a thriller or whatever. And
Right. It was like Point Break with cars.
Exactly. And then Fast 5, I think they had cars dropping out of planes, parachuting out of planes. Right. Or maybe it was Fast 6, I don't know. And then they had, in Furious 7, they had a car drive out of a 40th floor window of one building into the 35th floor of another building. And then it's just like, gravity almost doesn't exist in this universe. So it became, you know what it is? That's the thing, is it became a question. They discovered
the Matrix?
That's right. It became a thing where they were saying, all right, critics, if you're even going to try to take us seriously, that's going to make you look worse than we look with these dumb movies. So have at it. And then I think the critics just surrendered. But so that's a long way of saying 75.
All
okay.
Right.
So wait, shoot. God, did I talk so long that I forgot that you guys gave your scores already?
We did.
Good Lord. What is wrong with me? All right. So that brings us...
We got one more to go.
We got one more to go.
You saved the best for last.
That's right. Charlie Day and Ice Cube in Fist Fight. Sonia Mansfield.
Yeah.
Let me guess. You are not a fan of this.
I have to say, I'm kind of indifferent to it. I actually saw this preview in front of Office Christmas Party.
Uh-huh.
And I did laugh a couple of times, but then I forgot that I even saw the preview.
That's true.
Until I watched it again when you put it on the list. And then I was like, oh, yes, I did see this in the theater. I do like it when she tells him to play possum or some sort of other P-word animal. I thought that was funny.
Yeah. No, yeah. What?
So I did laugh a couple of times, but I don't see me paying, money to go see it in the theater.
Yeah, I probably will not see this in the theater.
Like Charlie Day. I like Charlie Day, and I like Ice Cube. It's just, this doesn't look like the type of movie I'll want to see, but maybe critics will super love it, and I'll be like, I can't believe I didn't want to see it, and I'll go see it. But I would be surprised if that was the case.
Yeah, I like Charlie Day, but Ice Cube, and Charlie Day's been in kind of hit and miss. I did like Horrible Bosses. Horrible Bosses 2 is not good. He's been kind of hit and miss with what he's doing. Ice Cube is a complete sellout. That guy will be in anything all over the place. So he's definitely on probation with me.
I still like him, though.
I like him, too. Yeah, I like him the way I like Vince Vaughn.
I'm not saying that, Ice Cube's in something, it must be good. I'm just saying, I like Ice Cube.
Huh.
Yeah, no, I like him, too. But I like him the way I like Vince Vaughn, which is he's made so many awful decisions that he's got to be proven innocent before I'll go watch one of his movies. So I don't know.
So what would you say Ice Cube is on the Freddie Prinze Jr. scale?
I think he's high. No, I really like him. Like I don't know, he's in the 50, 60,000s. I mean, he's up there. But his choice of movies is he's one of those, every once in a while you get a really good actor that cannot choose a good movie to save their life. And they turn themselves, I'll say this, I'll throw this name out there. Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
Now
I was going to say John Travolta.
Okay, Nicolas Cage, they have gone through periods of their careers where you wonder if they're aspiring to be like the third lead in a direct-to-DVD movie.
Well, that's kind of where they've been regulated now, actually. They don't have any A-list projects anymore. They're all on DVD now. So so you're exactly right. They're no longer like the headliners anymore. They're definitely playing second fiddle usually to some younger guy, and they're usually the villain in some sort of action, like a bland action flick.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. This guy has been in so many not good movies that I don't know what to say. Like, Dirty Grandpa. I guess he was Get Hard.
Well, he did, yeah, and he did like all the,
Horrible Bosses 2.
Are We There Yet?
Yeah, exactly. The Watch.
The first Friday is so funny.
Oh, yes.
I love Friday. I think it is really, really, really funny. All the ones that came after it are very unfunny.
Okay, that's true. The first Friday is fantastic. And it's
that was like 95.
21 years old. So that's what I'm saying is he's made enough bad movies. Yeah, that's the thing. He was in Boys in the Hood, a great movie. He's in 22 Jump Street, produced straight out of Compton. So he can do good stuff, but he also can do some really not good stuff.
So you long for the days of when he did Anaconda.
Thank you for saying that. That is exactly my point. He's done too many Anacondas since Friday and Boys in the Hood, so we'll see. He is on probation. Yeah, yeah. Triple X State of the Union. Remember that? Barbershop 2. Remember that?
And he did all those gangster movies originally, like Menace to Society, Trespass, New Jack City. He was in all those.
That's right.
I don't think he was in New Jack City, was he?
Was he?
Hold on. Are we about to call him racist?
Oh, no. You're right. He wasn't in New Jack City. He was in Trespass. And
he was in Trespass.
Yeah.
So I'll give you that. Higher Learning. He was in Higher Learning. So, we'll see. So
Peter Brown, what do you think of Fist Fight?
Of course, that classic Ghosts of Mars. He was in that as well.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Woo!
I am not. I'm not really a fan of this. Not at all. Actually, it looks. I don't know how they can make an entire movie around just one fight. It seems a little. Seems like it's just dragging for material, and it also continues kind of the trailers giving away the entire movie. Like they go through the entire process of him like not wanting to fight, calling the cops, talking to the other teachers, and then they get to the fight and he runs away. Oh wait, well we just saw the movie.
Wow, you might be 100% right.
So I don't need to see the movie. I saw the trailer. It's fine.
So what's your number?
21.
Ooh, duh. That's a number.
I'm gonna say 25.
You're going to say 25. All right, so hold on for a moment. I'm going to try to use the power of when they decide to put this out as an indicator of what the studio thinks to help me figure out.
I bet it comes out in March.
February 17th.
Oh, I'm so close.
That's kind of the new... Yeah, January is still a reliably awful month.
Right.
February is not much better.
Well, that's true, but February usually has one or two or three... serious tries, and now March is kind of like a mini summer at this point.
Well, Deadpool did come out in January?
Yeah, no, Deadpool came out in February. Yeah, Deadpool came out in February.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, there's all right, I'm gonna say 41.
Oh, you're feeling generous.
A little bit. We'll see. I don't think it's gonna be good, but what's your guess, Sonia Mansfield?
I already said mine.
25.
Sweet God, what is wrong with me?
Clean out your freaking ears.
Something. What I need. You know what it is I'm on. In order to sound articulate and like I know what I'm talking about, I'm looking at things and checking things on the Internet Movie Database as we discuss these, and I thought it would help the show, but it's making me just look like an absent-minded fool.
I don't care if I sound smart, so I'm not looking at anything.
And we know what's going on with Peter, right? Am I right, Sonia?
Did you say look like an absent-minded fool?
Something. Yeah. Why?
No,
appear to be an absent-minded fool. How's that? All right.
Appear to be.
All right. That's enough. Peter Brown. Peter Brown.
Yes.
Where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me at simonx.com or on Twitter, PeterBrownAX.
Thank you. Now, get out!
Thank you, Peter.
Thank you, Peter.
Right, bye-bye.
See ya. All right, Sonia, do you have anything else you'd like to say?
No, I'll just say goodbye.
Bye!
The Dorking Out Show is on Twitter at Dorking Out Show, where you can find Chris at Jet Jurgens and Sonia at The Sonia Show. You can read about Sonia's random adventures at thesoniashow.com and track the slow and creeping progress of Chris's novel and his other hijinks at jetjurgens.com. You can find out more about The Dorking Out Show at dorkingoutshow.com. While you're over there, you can support us by giving us a review on iTunes. We have a handy-dandy iTunes link to whisk you right back to 2007, where you can leave your review and 5-star rating in iTunes. We'd do it for your podcast. Want to dork out even more? Well, you can sign up for our newsletter, where you'll get all the headlines we use as fuel for the show. That's it for this week. Thanks for listening.